All right, welcome to the Explainer, everyone. Today, we're diving into an event that is literally going to redefine the global sports landscape. The FIFA World Cup is back, but listen, this isn't just your standard edition of football's biggest tournament. The 2026 World Cup is officially locked in to be the largest, the longest, and absolutely the most ambitious World Cup in history. We're talking about an unprecedented scale here, and today, we're going to break down exactly what that means.
Now, to really wrap our heads around the magnitude of what's coming, we've got to look at the numbers. For the last 7 World Cups, we've basically grown totally accustomed to a very specific format, right? 32 teams fighting it out for the ultimate prize. But in 2026, that number takes a massive leap to a staggering 48 teams. Think about that for a second. That's a 50% increase in the teams competing. It fundamentally changes the entire architecture of the tournament. Okay, let's dive into this. To make sense of it all, we're going to explore 4 key areas today. 1. The most ambitious World Cup. 2. 3 nations, 16 stadiums. 3. The expanded tournament format. And 4. Legends, debuts, and records. Section 1. The most ambitious World Cup. Let's set the stage here, because the geographical footprint of this event is something the sport has never even attempted before. The timeline alone is just a total marvel. Everything kicks off on June 11th at the legendary Estadio Azteca down in Mexico City. And from there, it rages on for weeks, finally wrapping up with the grand finale at New Jersey's MetLife Stadium on July 19th. That spans a massive, massive block of your summer, and you can only imagine the sheer logistical coordination required across an entire continent.
Section 2. 3 nations, 16 stadiums. Because for the first time ever, the host isn't just one country, and it isn't even 2. It's 3 countries sharing the duties: the US, Canada, and Mexico.
And breaking down the logistics of those 104 total matches, well, the workload is divided, but it's definitely heavily weighted. Mexico and Canada are each going to host 13 matches. Meanwhile, the remaining 78 games, and yeah, that includes all the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the final itself, will all be played right in the United States. Contextualizing this historically actually makes it even more fascinating. You know, this is only the second time ever that multiple countries are co-hosting. The first time was way back in 2002 with Japan and South Korea. But for our North American hosts, there is some serious, deep-rooted World Cup pedigree here. Mexico last hosted in 1986, which of course was that legendary tournament where Diego Maradona led Argentina to victory at his absolute peak. The US last hosted in 1994, which was won by Brazil. And now, in 2026, these historic hosts are teaming up alongside Canada. Which brings us to Section 3, the expanded tournament format. Having 3 countries and 48 teams is awesome, but honestly, how do you structure a competition that massive without it turning into pure chaos? Well, the organizers have laid out a very specific flow to keep things moving. The 48 teams will be split up into 12 groups of 4. And here's the real game changer for the knockout stage. They're introducing a brand new round of 32. Yep, that means an entire extra round of high-stakes, do-or-die knockout football before we even get to the round of 16. This structural shift totally explodes the statistics of the tournament. Let's rattle off a few. First up, 104. Thanks to the expansion and that new round of 32, we're looking at a record-breaking 104 total matches. It is literally going to be a daily feast of football. Next number, 39. To actually pull off those 104 matches, the tournament's going to stretch across 39 grueling days. It's an absolute endurance test for these squads. Honestly, you might want to warn your boss right now that your productivity is going to take a hit that month. And finally, 16. A total of 16 stadiums are going to handle this massive schedule. That breaks down to 11 in the US, 3 in Mexico, and 2 in Canada, creating this sweeping continent-wide tour. Now, what's genuinely super exciting about this expansion is the door it opens for the underdogs. More slots simply mean more chances for nations to shine on the ultimate global stage. Because of this new format, we're officially welcoming several amazing newcomers. Cape Verde, Curacao, Jordan, and Uzbekistan are all making their World Cup debuts. It's a huge milestone, and it brings the all-time number of distinct countries to appear at the tournament up to 84. Let's transition to our final section: legends, debuts, and records. We've talked about the logistics, the stadiums, the math, but at the end of the day, the World Cup is really about the players, right? It's about the superstars and the history on the line. And we are witnessing a true clash of generations here.
On one side, you've got Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo and Argentina's Lionel Messi. Both of them are set to become the only two players to ever appear in 6 World Cups. Think about that. Ronaldo enters with a mind-boggling 226 international caps, and he's already the only player to have scored in 5 different World Cups. Messi currently holds the all-time record for most World Cup appearances with 26 matches. But then, representing the younger guard, you have France's Kylian Mbappe. Going into this tournament at age 27, he already has 12 World Cup goals under his belt. He is perfectly positioned to challenge the all-time scoring records. But hey, individual brilliance doesn't always guarantee a trophy, does it? Historically, winning this tournament is one of the hardest things to do in all of sports. In fact, only 8 countries have ever won the FIFA World Cup, and standing alone at the absolute pinnacle, that's Brazil. They lead the pack with 5 titles, and they're still the only nation to have qualified for every single World Cup since the inaugural one back in 1930. Just incredible dominance. So, with legendary scorers taking the pitch and teams constantly chasing Brazil's legacy, we are completely set up for an offensive showcase. The previous record for the most goals in a single World Cup was 172, which was just set in Qatar in 2022. But with 104 matches on the schedule for 2026, that 172 goal mark isn't just in jeopardy. It's expected to be completely smashed just by the sheer volume of games. We are practically guaranteed a goal explosion. So what does this all mean for us as fans? Whether you're tuning in to witness Messi's potential farewell, to see if Ronaldo can keep his historic scoring streak alive in his 6th tournament, to watch Mbappe march toward absolute dominance, or just to soak in the spectacle of football's biggest party, 2026 promises to be unlike anything we've ever seen. The stage is larger, the stakes have literally never been higher, and it leaves us with one massive question. With an unprecedented 48 teams, 104 matches, and an entire continent playing host